Talks lasted approximately 4 hours and were exceptionally substantive, constructive, and, I would say, extremely frank and trusting. It was agreed that the first meeting of the Trilateral Working Group on Security Issues will take place in Abu Dhabi today, Friday, January 23rd. The talks lasted approximately 4 hours and were exceptionally substantive, constructive, and, I would say, extremely frank and trusting. The interlocutors, as is well known, had arrived from Davos, where, literally before their flight to Moscow, they had participated in a series of events with their president, Donald Trump, including those related to the Ukrainian settlement. They shared their first-hand impressions and fresh assessments of the US president's meeting in Davos with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, which both Witkoff and Kushner personally attended. They also assessed other contacts they had held in December and January at Mar-a-Lago in Florida and in several European capitals. Overall, I would say the Russian president's meeting with American representatives was specifically focused on gathering information on results of the Americans' contacts with Ukrainian and European partners and jointly defining the parameters for further action. And the next step in this direction was agreed upon. It was agreed that the first meeting of the Trilateral Working Group on Security Issues will take place in Abu Dhabi today, Friday, January 23rd. The Trilateral Working Group meaning representatives of Russia, the United States, and Ukraine. At the same time, the heads of the Bilateral Economic Group will also meet in Abu Dhabi. This is already a bilateral group, meaning Russia and the United States, Kirill Dmitriev and Steve Witkoff. Our security negotiating team has already been assembled and will depart for the Emirates in the coming hours. It includes representatives of the Ministry of Defense Leadership, led by Admiral Kostyukov, Chief of the Main Directorate of the General Staff. I'll also say that our delegation just received specific instructions from the Russian president, taking into account all the details of today's conversation with the Americans. The Americans, it must be acknowledged, have done a great deal to prepare this meeting, and they hope that it will be successful and open up prospects for progress on the entire range of issues related to ending the conflict and reaching a peace agreement. Overall, I repeat, the meeting that just concluded in the Kremlin was beneficial in every way for both our and the American sides. It was agreed at the meeting that the Russian and American sides will continue to maintain close contact with each other, both on Ukraine and other issues. Most importantly, during these talks between our president and the Americans, it was once again confirmed that without resolving the territorial issue according to the formula agreed upon in Anchorage, there is no hope of achieving a long-term settlement. We, as Vladimir Putin emphasized, are sincerely interested in resolving the Ukrainian crisis through political and diplomatic means. Until this is achieved, Russia will continue to consistently pursue the objectives set for the special military operation, specifically on the battlefield, where the Russian armed forces hold the strategic initiative. At the meeting in the Kremlin, Donald Trump's initiative to establish a peace council was also discussed, as well as a number of regional issues and the situation surrounding Greenland. During the exchange of opinions on the peace council, our willingness to allocate $1 billion from Russian assets frozen by the previous U.S. administration to this body's budget was emphasized. The remaining funds from our frozen U.S. reserves could be used to rebuild territories damaged by the fighting after a peace treaty is concluded between Russia and Ukraine. Discussions on this topic will continue in the Bilateral Economic Group.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.